want the outcome and the resources and all that kind of stuff. And it just seems to be uh, a challenge, to say the least. So we wanted to make it easy for people to find us. Like, so like think about every time like a new software comes out and you heard about it early, and it's like so hard to use and you got to take your time and figure it out, then eventually they get the UI right and so forth and so on. So I wanted to skip that step for people. That's why I went ahead and did it this way.
I hate when new software takes time to learn. If I don't get it right away, I think I'm doing it wrong and I just leave it alone.
But that's the thing, is it's you're not doing it wrong. It's like the the hurdle to learning is difficult. I mean, because you don't have somebody to guide you. Like, I don't know how Zakia do it. Like, she found every little new thing and she figure out. Like, I don't even have the mental capacity to sit there and try to figure all it out. But does she
Yeah.
does?
Yeah, that's one of the things I am also curious about, talking to your target audience and talking to your peers, or as some people say, talking to yourselves. Have you seen the post on LinkedIn? Are you out here talking to yourself? That's why you're not buying, because you don't need what you were selling, because you can already provide it for yourself. I forgot who wrote it, but I thought it was funny, and I was like, yeah, I have been doing that, um, talking to yourself, but finding the difference between your audience and um, yourself, the difference between yourself or your peers. I'll say your peers because that's confusing. Finding the difference between your target audience and your peers.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's really, and that's why you have to have like two conversations really when you're talking to your peers. So, or even people who are, or your current customers, because they already know like your nomenclature and what you're capable of. So when you're talking about things, you don't have to have as much explanation in my mind. Like there's like right now we're going into a whole nother space. Like if I just call up athletes, be like, let me help you with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, oh yeah, 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 so and so told me about you, and we get that all the time. But what we're trying to do now is move into a more, what I feel is stable environment where we're working with agencies and executives, because athletes don't care about the externals when it comes to regeneration, right? They only like the externals, meaning like how this is impacting the team financially or growing, or the agency or anything like that. They're like, just fix me so I can get back to where I need to be. Right. But an
Yeah.
agency has to care about the long term, right? So it's more of an investment in their future and protecting the ROI, right? So and the brand, because the brand is gonna have a longer shelf life than an individual agent. I mean, is an individual athlete, because you know they come and go on these teams and different things, but the connection with the agency is still um, viable. So that's what we want to be able to do. So, I mean, so that's the difference. Like you have to know. It's just, I guess the bottom line is just knowing who your audience, like reading the room and knowing who you're talking to and what's going to be valuable to them.
Yeah.
I guess I could have said all that from the beginning.
You're funny. It made me think about a lady who wrote you and said, "I didn't know you could cook." And I'm like, "You don't know Elle. That's why you didn't know that." But I didn't wanna write that in the comments
Crazy
because I thought
thing.
that'd be mean or rude.
Yeah, she was like, "And you cook too?" I was like, "Girl, I'm 55. I'm gonna be 55 this year. Anybody
Woohoo.
my age should know how to cook." I mean, and we've been cooking most of our lives because there was nobody at home to cook for us when we were young. Oh, yeah, for sure. There were no Hot Pockets. I remember Hot Pockets came out when I was probably in maybe high school or middle school or something like that, and none of us wanted to eat that because I mean, my parents are Southern, so we never really bought food out. We always cooked our food pretty much from scratch most of my life. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, so when Hot Pockets and, um, I'm trying to remember what else came out. I think the Hot Pockets was the most popular. Oh, I no, I guess when Melanie was little, they came out with those Lunchables, and she kept
Yeah.
and all the kids were like, "Lunchables?" I'm like, "That ain't nothing but a deconstructed sandwich that's been sitting long." I'm like, if that's what you want, like, we gonna go to the deli and get this meat cut up so you can have actual sandwich. That is just ridiculous. Petrified crackers and meat. Already petrified is a deli meat in the first place. It's too much.
Yes, Eric said we should try to cut down on processed foods.
Yeah. I mean, because basically it's just petrifying you from the inside out.
Boo.
And people been wondering why they can't go to can't use the bathroom, why they, it's just crazy. My hair falling apart. Anyway, but yeah.
Look like you got it done again.
So I locked it. So I did it myself.
Okay.
I couldn't understand why people go get their hair locked I mean, I know that you gotta have a loctician to, but I couldn't understand why if I locked my hair, I still had to go to the hairdresser. That was the whole point of locking it in the first place, so I had to go to the hairdresser. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I'm not sure if you knew how to do it all by yourself the first time, or did you?
So what I did was I got it braided first because I always had my hair braided. I haven't worn my hair out in like, I don't know, a long time. So then I was like, because I have been wanting to do it for a few years, but I just never did it because I didn't know what the maintenance would be like and all that. So I started doing research on it and like how to maintain it and all that kind of stuff. And so I was finally ready to commit to it. So then I had somebody just braid it and then I just start interlocking it, the new growth. So that's how I did it.
Nice.
I just didn't think it was necessary to go crazy.
Well, let me push some buttons in here so we can go ahead and get started and I can ask you a bunch of nosy questions.
Oh my
Let's
goodness.
see. I love nosy questions. When my brother-in-law comes over, I was like, "Hey Thomas, are you ready for another nosy personal question?" He's like, "I'm ready."
Tell him
So
he
I
know
I
that front
huh?
door, he need to be ready.
He does. I asked him, what was something he wanted when he was really little and was told no, so he tried to give it to one of his babies.
Mhm.
He didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer, so go ahead.
I can't even tell you. I mean, that's a good question to ask you, but I don't know either. because I know that like my little sister, I would do that for I think Melanie had everything she wanted. I mean, so I can't imagine. She used to get mad at me, like, 'cause she'll tell me she want a book bag, and she'll show me the one that she wants, and I'm like, "Girl, we ain't buying this cheap thing. Because if I buy this, I know good and well I'm gonna have to rebuy it next week, right?" And so she was upset because she thought that I wasn't listening to her, and I'm like, "Girl, I was listening to you, but you weren't understanding that, you can see all these little cute book bags and things that people have, and then you wonder how come they don't have it after the next week. It's because it fell apart.
Yeah.
It's trash. It's a waste of your money." And I had to go through
Yeah.
the same thing with my stepkids. They wanted to wear. I don't know if I should say the brands and all that, but you remember the brands that all the kids were wearing. Um, begin with they store smell real bad, and
Their store smells real bad.
their store smells real bad, and I can't even go. I can't even go in there. I mean, I don't even think they exist anymore. So maybe I can say it, but they wanted to wear. You know what store I'm talking about?
Is it Foot Locker?
No, it's Hollister.
Hollister. Nope.
Remember Hollister? They used to have the guys standing around with the like basically no shirts on, and the store they used to have so much air, I don't know, air freshener, fragrance or something. I can't even go in there. It's just like what's the other place where people be buying all those smelly fragrancy things from? Um I want to say it's Bed Bath and Beyond, but it's not that. It's the other one. They were the ones who came out with, I don't know. I can't remember the names, but you can smell the store before you get to the store in the mall. You know what I'm
That's
talking
funny.
you know what store I'm talking about? They sell like lotions and, oh my gosh, shower gels and stuff. I don't know remember
I
the
know what
name.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either. But anyway, there, I can't go in there. It triggers me so bad. Whenever the girls want to go there for like the holiday, I have to stand outside and wait for them to tell me what they want to get, and then give them the card so they could go buy it. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's too much.
Okay, I think I got it now.
All right, sugar. Let's get it.
I'm still hoping that I got it. So
Well, whatever. However we handle it today.
it won't let me go any bigger than this. Let's see, share this tab. Yeah, I'm sharing. And you see my screen?
I can see
Look.
your screen, baby. Scaling your
Oh,
without scaling your workload.
yep, that's it.
Uh huh.
So is your workload a good bit manual, or do you have some automations already in place?
I have other people.
Okay. I don't know if that counts as automation though.
And I have other people. We've gotten a lot of tools, and I mean, you know this firsthand, but a lot of tools everybody's using. I don't micromanage the thing. And, like, this is the outcome that I need, and I let them decide. They'll come back like, okay, so I want this tool or this piece of equipment or whatever, right? And then we go over it, and I typically say yes. you know.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, I mean, so I think a lot of it is automated. I mean, you can't help it because you have AI now, you know. So, AI really has
How you do things?
changed how you do.
Like in just these
It's,
3 years?
I think
Well,
it's changed.
AI's been around a long time.
Yeah, I think it's changed the heavy lifting part, right? So when you have to do research on your the target audience or the client that you're supporting or the outcomes that you want or those types of things, you have to um be willing. I mean, you have to do all that anyway, right? So now you have, you could cut it like and cut it down a lot because you're gonna give AI kind of like your parameters. You're gonna have it give you some outcome, and then you have to research the side of it that or the portion of it that you got from AI, because AI is kind of done like some of the basic things. I mean, you can't like just give it everything and trust that it's going to do it correctly.
Yeah.
You still have to give it the correct parameters for it to do what you want it to do, right? Because there's a whole bunch of things that it can do. So, I mean, that's just the thing about AI, right? It
Yeah.
it has such a great capacity, but just because the capacity is there doesn't mean that it's what you are looking to accomplish or use.
Yeah. Learned that the hard way. I was working in Gemini and it says, let me make a logo for your Substack. And I'm like, okay. And after the third try, I'm like, you know what? Thanks for the idea. And I went to Canva and I made it. And then I brought it back and was like, hey, I got it. Thanks. And Chris Doe had wrote on LinkedIn that his friend had tried using AI 47 times. And then he looked over at Chris, and Chris had created the logo within 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, thank God I still got Photoshop.
Oh
I
yeah.
was
I mean, I feel like the tools that are available, no. When you need a solution, you have to use the right tool. You know how I'm always saying that,
Mhm.
I say that a lot. So just because AI is a tool doesn't mean that it's the correct tool for the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah. Like,
So,
I totally got annoyed with it after the second time, but I gave it one more chance.
well, yeah, I don't, I kind of, I don't use AI extensive. I use AI to help me to sort out details or data or to expand a thought that I have or idea, because like I come up with 1,000 ideas and I'm like, okay, let's pressure test this. I like pressure test everything lately, and so it kind of works out great because my team are full of people that are like, okay, so you just told me about this, let me get it done. So depending on like the personality types of your people, you can, some people will listen to you just iterate on, right? Where other people like, well, you said this and this, and so I'm trying to sit over here trying to figure out how to get it done. And I'm like, no, I just wanted to kind of to have you hear some of the ideas so that we can sort through what makes sense. But I don't have to do that now. I use AI for that. Because
Very
I
nice.
time like in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, what about da 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 da? And then like you read, like it'll give you like all this information, and you can read through it and be like, okay, so even though this would have been an option, it's not what I want to do, and so you can just go on to the next one.
Yeah.
So I
I
think that,
believe that to be a true statement because I've done that.
yeah, I mean, it just makes it so much um more, so much easier.
Yeah. Well, okay. Our first slide. Your event doesn't need more effort, it needs better systems. Founder led follow ups are the only follow ups. Relying on manual reminders for attendees. The, I don't know what that is, pervasive. I'll send that later. I totally do that all the time, energy. Um, that leads to missed opportunities. Yes. I've done that and missed opportunities. Where do you personally slow things down in your current event process? For me, it is looking for speakers. I made out my calendar for the whole year for the event innovator insight sessions. I know that I need 12 speakers. Well, I need 11 now. And I don't know to, let's see, how can I say it? I need better communication skills to get speakers because I get a lot of, that's not what I do, but it's in your title. And I hate that. So how about you, Elle? Where do you personally slow things down in your current event process?
I think for me, it's allowing everything else to kind of be in the way. You know what I mean? I definitely, I guess, definitely follow up, like, because that's one of my things for this year is to be better at follow up. Um, see what else. But I think that not being clear on what I want for the year, right? You know,
Ooh.
it's like there's so many, because right now there's so many different options and choices. Like this is our 50th year anniversary, and we have,
Woohoo!
yeah, we haven't even made the announcement like publicly yet. So I've been talking about it with the team and everything, but we need to make that, this needs to be a big deal for this year. So that's kind of like our we're gonna have several events this year. They'll mostly be hybrid, because I'm trying to move us more local instead of everywhere. And I don't know how effective I'm being at that because we didn't do it last year, and that's really sad. We went everywhere in the country last year, and for us to not have not one local, I mean, I guess local, we didn't. I mean, if you count Columbia as local, I guess we had some local, but
It's in the state.
yeah, but it's still not Greenville, right? We wanted to. My goal is to become part of the fabric of the sports scene here in Greenville. That is my goal. So, with that being the goal, Columbia doesn't really count.
Greenville is different from the rest of the state. They're the folks that will. I don't see anybody telling you this, but they're the folks that will tell you to your face they don't want to work with you. Spartanburg's just a little different. They're the folks that's like, yes, I will work with you, ask you for money, and then pay you no attention.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, they will rob you. They don't care. But Columbia, yeah, I do see them as a little nicer, as someone who says, I want to do business with you, and then show up and actually want to do business with you.
oh,
So,
okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
yeah.
That's
But
all I got.
don't take my experience for yours. I do see people treating you differently. And if Greenville is somebody or a city you want to work with, I think that will happen for you.
Well, I feel like we have a a couple months to figure it out, and if we don't, we'll just go back to what we've been doing. Um, there's a team that could use us so desperately, and I haven't reached out to them because I don't want to be in Florida. But it's like I really have no desire to be in Florida at all. But um, I think
You know,
there might.
after being in the best state in the union for a long time, it's hard to go to other places. I
Well,
understand.
I mean, if Greenville doesn't value us as a resource, well, it's not even them. Like, just I mean, how can I say it? It's not Greenville, right? Just I'm trying to say that it's not. people like that. It's like if I can't figure out how to step into that space effectively,
Mhm.
not them, they don't know. I haven't told them, right? So I'm not, it's not their fault. But if I can't figure out how to navigate that, then, you know, we'll just have to leave and work somewhere else where it's very, I mean, because it doesn't make sense to be here and not have here be benefit from us being here.
Mhm.
So,
Makes sense.
because we get, I mean, I've been requested multiple times, multiple times to move other places, but I feel like this could really be a good space. So I decided to stay.
I guess I didn't say it before. I'm all for you getting a bunch of $2 trillion contracts, but I didn't say don't move. So go ahead and get those multiple $2 trillion contracts, but still don't move. There, now I've said it. Just in case I wasn't clear before.
Oh my goodness. I'm really so this today is one of my days where it's today is the day where I actually start reaching out um for that purpose. Um I I don't want to call any of the, I'm trying not to call like be like that because it's not really their fault. It's my fault or my responsibility, let's say, because hey Joe, because it's not their job to find us, right? It's our job to reach out to them.
Well,
So
Joe just happened to be an expert in SEO.
I know, but that's not how we're doing it though, because we're not trying to like get everybody. We're trying to be specific and targeted, right? So I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, I guess maybe SEO would be a way, but we're not. But it's I still have to reach out to them and tell them. So it's 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 not it's not a digital outreach. It's like literally, okay, let me call you, which is one of the things that is my issue. I don't like talking to people that I don't know. We still know it's true, but I am still working. I mean, I have come a long way with that mental block, but um just getting out and talking to people and being able to explain what it is that we do effectively is what has to happen.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know you know that you can use SEO to find local things.
I know, but that's this is so crazy for me. That's still not the issue, right? We already know who they are. You
Mm,
know, we know who it is we want to talk to. It's just calling them and saying and being able to speak to them in a way that they can hear. You know how we talk about people don't understand. So being able to hear what I'm trying to tell you
yeah,
without it being, because for me, all of our all of, you know who I am. It's like I believe in community, right? And being able to say, "Hey, can you introduce me to so and so?" As opposed to me just cold calling them and trying to start a conversation. That's not my personality. So I have to be better at that if that's what it's going to take for us to help people who need it.
I understand.
I got a quick question. I jumped in the middle of what you guys are talking about, but Erica, I know at least as far as what you were saying regarding SEO, you're right. You can attract anybody you want to. So much that just made me think of the interview I posted yesterday. And so what you're discussing, Al, I'm not exactly sure where you started with that, but is part of your issue. Obviously, you want to be talking with people. Is part of your issue getting the right messaging to attract them to you? Is it having the right messaging out there available that makes them immediately say, "Oh, that's me. I want to pick up the phone and call them"?
I guess because I'm telling you, I have no idea, to really
Okay.
be honest, because I know this is gonna sound crazy. So if I wanted to reach out to a pro athlete, I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, right? I
Mm-hmm.
know how I can get in touch with him. And regardless of whatever gatekeepers, I know that I can do that. Okay, fine. The problem with reaching out to him directly is that he doesn't control his life as much as everybody thinks that he's in, so his
Gatekeepers do.
right, exactly. So you don't, but people's like, how to avoid the gatekeepers? Well, that's kind of crazy because they're the people who you really need to talk to. Gatekeepers are there for a purpose. Okay. So right now we're trying to switch our model. So we want to work with agency owners and executives, sports,
Mm-hmm.
executives. Okay. So the reason so the reason for the change is because there's more control there.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so that's why. All
It
right,
should
so
be.
yeah. So now the challenge that we have is getting in front of them and having a message that makes sense to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we they don't think of availability as their as actual uh financial quantification. Like we quantified availability, which sounds so crazy because it's like the person has to be available to play, or athletes have to be available to play, or there's no value to sports at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they their most valuable asset, they kind of just let kind of linger without any control. There's no governance, there's no management of availability. It's just left to chance or luck or whatever. Because once a person gets cleared, they simply do not have they don't have anything to help them after that. They're left to their own recognizance, right?
I I have a question. So you're saying like, okay, at this particular point of what you're saying, are you saying something like a Tom Brady isn't? Oh, you're saying that the gatekeeper isn't focused on that, not the athlete themselves.
The leagues and the agents
Okay, got it,
themselves,
got it, got it, got it.
but they have the most liability. They
Right,
have no control in all the liability.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let me just tell you something that this is something it took me a little while to come to, and the podcast episode I put out yesterday, um, you could listen to it because it does talk. The primary part about it is messaging. In fact, I'm sitting here. I still got to put some other stuff out. I'm sitting here looking at titles. Why clear messaging beats traffic every time. The real reason your marketing isn't converting. Stop
yes,
blaming your strategy. Fix your message first. Your message isn't broken. It's just unclear. Marketing fails when clarity fails. These are my title options
yes.
for the mini version of what I'm putting out. I'm putting it out in several places. The bottom line is what I've learned, and this
Wait, I need a
wait,
favor.
yes,
I need a favor, Joe.
turn it on.
All of those you just mentioned, I need those in a scheduler and I need those to link back to your podcast episode. Use all of them. Pretty please. Pretty please.
Wait. Say that again.
The list you
I have
just
to say pretty. Say
spoke
it.
of all of the titles,
Mm-hmm.
pretty please put those into a scheduler and link them back to your podcast episode because
Mm-hmm.
all of those are tips.
Hang on. You're
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no,
I
you're
just
good.
wanted to jump in. But go ahead and finish what you were saying and also give us a link to
Down
the
the note
episode.
first. You got to write the note down.
Oh,
Definitely do.
Tonnage.
That's you say these things. Here we go, Erica. I learned something today, and I'm not even awake. Um, no, but seriously, I always plan to use one of these, and I always have all these things. But yeah, that's exactly what I could do is repost them with the different titles,
Yep.
especially to give me an A/B test to see which kind of title works better. But But yeah, the point is, I've been a part of teams that went into corporate, and in the corporate world, they were struggling. These were people that were they had a great product. They had sometimes they didn't have a lot of competition. Sometimes they had a ton of competition. But either way, I was working at the top in the industry each time, and it doesn't matter whether I was at the car dealership, who was the number 6 dealership in the nation in their brand, or if it was I worked in a payday loan industry, and I also worked in the solar company. Basically, all three places, what I learned is everything's about messaging,
Yes.
and it's about understanding who you're talking to, and it's understanding about how they think, how they adjust, how they communicate, and their problems.
Hmm.
And so lead generation over the time, with all the digital marketing training I got, there was always a disconnect. And it's like when you go to college, you learn all these things for your major as a business major and everything. Yeah, you use those things, but the actual how do you do it day to day isn't what's taught.
Right.
And in digital marketing, the things that I'm telling you about, you can find them, but you're going to very rarely find them in a sequence. You'll see them a little bit more lately. But I've been using this model for a while. And basically, you what I always say is take your goal, reverse, I'm using the word reverse engineer it, but basically start backwards. Start at the back end like you were a kid doing a maze.
Hmm.
Start at the end of goal, what you want, and then reverse engineer and get to it. And so when you do that, the very first thing is you set your goal up, you set your objectives. Then you got to start out with where do you fit in the marketplace? Who's your competitors out there? After you've identified where you fit in the marketplace, who your competitors are, then it starts coming down to who is specifically you're targeting, your exact market target audience.
Hmm.
You're and then narrow that down to the different types of personas. You just said, what did you say? Agencies and something. So who did you say?
League executives or team executives.
Okay, those are two different personas. You
Yep.
can't talk to them both at the same time. You have to
Exactly.
have different messaging and go to different places to talk to each one. So you understand that, but a lot of people don't get that. Then the next step is what is it you're saying to them? What you say, each one of those has a different way of looking at a different perspective of everything. So then you got to have the right messaging, put the right messaging in front of them. Okay, this is like fishing. So at this point, what is your bait? Are you there at the right time of day? Are they hungry now? Are they looking for food right now? When you go fishing, you can know that hey, there's bass in that, in that pond, or there's catfish. But you know what? You can go in there and say, I know the catfish are hiding under this rock overhang right here. They're always there at this time of day. Great. Are they looking for food at that time of day? If they are, you throw your fish in there at that time of day. I mean, your bait in there at that time of day. If you don't, then they're not grabbing the bait much. The
Right.
same works when you're doing digital marketing. You got to have the right message in front of the right people at the right time, and it's got to be the bait for them.
Hmm.
Then once you do that, then it's about the tactics, and the tactics are unique to your goal. They're not, oh, everybody's doing Facebook, or everybody's saying meet in person, or everybody's doing this or doing that. You got to look at each one. I know, you're talking about the execs. They're gonna both of yours have gatekeepers. So
Hmm.
both of them, you got to approach their gatekeepers where the gatekeepers are, and you got to figure out your when you were talking about gatekeepers, I used to work in I've worked in real estate twice in two different capacities for significant periods of time. One time it was as a title rep or title insurance rep. The title rep, if you walk into a real estate office, they're the notepads you see everywhere that have somebody's picture on it. Those are the title reps. The title reps usually, depending on the office, some offices that gatekeeper is strong. There's somebody sitting there by the door to get inside to the main group of people, and you got to go past that gatekeeper, and they're not letting anybody pass. Well, you got to have tips and tricks and everything else up your sleeve to get past that one. And you're not always going to get past them. But then there's others that you just have to know what it takes to get past them and have, walk past with your thing of flowers, take them to lunch, whatever it is to get past it. But you got to identify what it is. And then after that, it comes down to, okay, this with this gatekeeper, like I just said, what are your tactics? Okay, take them to lunch. That's the tactic for that gatekeeper. That what is it for this gatekeeper? It's going to be, whatever. And you got to meet them right where they are, and then that's where how you line up your tactics. But if you don't go through that whole sequence, step by step by step, how are you going to know when it's working? Or you got to identify where the holes are in your strategy. And so that's the key that happens to most people in their digital market. Not even, I say digital marketing because that's my specialty, but that's the problem with people in marketing, is that they don't understand it. And they're so quick to get straight to the sale, and then, so here's the other part of this that I teach, and they're part of the same formula. Okay, so I just told you everything that I use, but here's what people don't apply, and this is what makes my process, I call it lead generation made simple. This is what makes my process unique. It has to match up to the buyer's journey, and that's finding where the buyer is in this process. Are they aware that they have this issue, this need? Are they interested that they have this need? Are they looking at this particular time? Are they starting to make a decision on this? Are they at that point? And then timing the materials and putting out the right materials, the right bait to catch them at the right time for when they're ready. And that's I don't know how I went down my rabbit hole of my own lead generation made simple, but I do know the things you were saying, and this never leaves my mind. It's always there. And sometimes I get to talk with people who get it. I can see that you're smiling because you get it. But you know what? I would go back to analyzing each one of those steps and looking at each one of those parts. And I'm going to tell you that it's probably going to be linked to how much overlapping you're doing a little bit and how much you're going to get out. Because I don't like to go out there and talk to people. If I put the right things out there, they come to me.
But that's literally what I was explaining to Erica. Just you literally took us down the same road that we just went down, and I appreciate it because that is confirmation all day. Because I literally was explaining that we have when it comes to athletes and everything, we can definitely go out and we know how to do that. But what we're trying to do is move into the agency owner and executive space to give them the opportunity so that they can understand that they have a liability, a financial liability that they are not aware of. And it's because of how the industry has typically handled athletes that in their availability. So that's where you came in.
Can I jump in here real quickly? I also got to say this because my wife just said, you also have to have my wife. And she's right for me.
Hey, Jen.
So one of the things she said, I put her out there. She brings them. She's actually good at sales and won't be a salesperson. So anyway, that's the other thing. I don't have the personality that wants to. I've been a salesperson. I realize that's not for me. But anyway, I'll shut up and I look and see that we are getting ready with the slide deck.
Yes.
But wait, let me say this first. So where we are, so I've done all those. I think I've done most of those things. I'm gonna go back and look and make sure what I missed. But what we literally are the moment that we're in is a transition point where we're trying to find a more sustainable way to work with the industry. So that was a problem, right? That's where we are. So it's not it's never gonna this isn't gonna be like a mass market or kind of like a whole. I guess we need to have something that's in front of them all the time, like SEO wise, that they can see kind of regular and kind of retarget and all those kind of things. But the initial kind of space where we are, this is more kind of like even though I'm not a boy, but an old boy kind of handshake kind of conversation type of thing where, you know, we're looking at your specific situation based on your specific contracts, based on your specific type of agency. So we just found out over like maybe a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, that there's different types of agencies.
Mm.
You know that? You know,
That
and
that that brought me to a point that I was just thinking. Every once in a while, you said you got to go back over this everything, and everything. Every once in a while, you got to go back and do you need to do that double check all the time anyway,
mhm.
because there's things that are evolving and emerging all the time. Another thing is to get, like you're getting opinions right here. Um, I don't know how much you've used AI to do it, but try to get a different perspective because maybe you are missing something or a particular segment or there's a sub segment you're not really seeing or you just described that. So,
Mhm.
that's why I wanted to jump in there because uh, you're working at it and it's not a perfect formula. You're working at it, and this is something that's so much that one of the things I do with with where I'm going is I like to talk to people who have these kinds of struggles because of the uniqueness of what they do. So we got to
Talk
talk.
later.
Say that again.
We have to talk later.
Yeah, we got to talk later for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All
Because
right.
this is crazy.
Most founders focus on the event, but the revenue is in the life cycle.
Hmm.
Registration, attention, or attended, registered, attended, engage, retain, monetize. Most event plans stop at getting people to show up. The real scalable revenue happens after the live moment. Which
Hmm.
stage of this event life cycle feels the messiest for you right now? How about you go first, Joe?
Mm. Well, right now the messiest part is getting the front end going. I know the back end because I'm switching platforms. The back end will be maintained. I'm rebuilding the back end right now, but the back end is where the strength and the power is. And what most people don't realize is they run their ads up front, to get somebody registered, and they put it out there for a week or two in front of everybody, and then the people start really registering the last second to get in. And those that attend afterward, you want to get back with in front of those because they may get your first thing. They may not buy anything right there, but they're in the mindset to think about it, and so it continues down that path of finding them at the right time. So you got to, based on this, you got to keep them retained, keep them engaged, keep them, retained, and keep working towards monetizing them. So my process is literally, I don't say it, but it's a full life cycle marketing process. And even after they purchase, what are you doing for them? Are you staying in front of them? Are you offering them more things? Do you have more solutions to offer them? And are you building towards getting them to become brand advocates? Because that's the key. Is if you can get them, try to get them to the point that they just really love your brand, they'll wear your brand everywhere, and they'll do, boost your brand up everywhere and try to convert them into a, brand advocates. That turns around and gives you a loop and brings people back to you. So anyway, it's definitely once I, my key is to get them retained, and then from there I can use that process to keep them moving.
Nice. Okay, Elle, how about you? Which stage of this life cycle feels the messiest for you right now?
Right now, for I don't know, for the I guess just even just the whole registered part right now, because you know how you when you first create a product, you're like, everybody needs this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come to your reality, it's like, yes,
Yeah. I'm going to say
but who
registered
do you want
too.
to take through the whole process? Hmm?
So I'm going to agree and say registered for me also.
Yeah, because it's like right now, it's so crazy. Like we have plenty of individual athletes and we have a couple agents. But the way that we met those agents was because some influencer, whether they were a trainer or a parent, right, told that agent about us, which is great because that's how it should be. But the sustainability of that to grow a brand to the stage that we want to, like we could just be happy with maybe I need to do okay, so that's just got an idea. Okay. Maybe what I should do is do like a series on how or why maybe agencies are currently um not really at risk, like how they're almost a scapegoat. I won't say it like this, but they're the scapegoat, right? For um the availability of players because they have absolutely no control over it, but they have the most impact from it in a negative way. Well, in the upside too, right? It's the upside too. So isn't if a player is on the field and playing at their best, then they get great upside. But the risk of the athlete getting hurt is almost 100%. And then valuation erosion occurs. So maybe we need to just start talking about that like or in the registration cycle early. I ain't thinking nothing else. Oh no, Joe. I
Yeah,
see you.
I definitely. My daughter right now is just getting ready to. She's got another semester to graduate college. She was trained one on one. Thank you. I actually got daughters at roughly that stage. My oldest, she was trained in specifically for soccer and for speed training, and so she actually for the longest time wasn't sure where she was going with this. She wanted to anyway. Long story short, she's come full circle and realizes she's coaching soccer, and she realizes that there's not very many soccer trainers out there for herself, and so she's got a market that are female trainers, especially with the double background that she's got. The point is that it just started making me, and my other daughter's a dancer, and she's like at the top level. She dances for USC, the Rio USC in Southern
She's
Cal.
in South Carolina?
Southern Cal,
Wow.
the real FC. And so she's a featured dancer there. The point is injuries happen all over the place. Now I hear you talking, and the NFL nickname the Not for Long League. It the messaging there and just the nickname is not for long. That happens because of a couple of things, injuries being one of the major ones.
Mhm.
So in your messaging, it's a negative connotation, but if you already know it's the not for long league, how are you preparing for it? And so I see a PowerPoint from your messaging, and then you were talking about trainers or personal trainers and things like that. I hear you talking about the professional athletes. I don't know how much beyond that you go, but I would definitely love a conversation. We gotta kind of have a conversation to help you strategize and do some things because I know I taught privately martial arts, and I know the martial arts injuries. I played basketball through college. My daughter was a dancer. My wife was a gymnast. She was a powerhouse gymnast training, preparing for the Olympic team in '96 because she was California state champion. She became a professional tennis player. She stopped playing professional tennis because of injuries, because she couldn't sustain the time it took to get back to the 6 hour to 8 hour day practice times.
Mhm.
Um, Injuries have been a key to the reason why I got a metal post in my leg going 6 inches down and 6 inches up. The point here is that if you're involved in sports and the line of work that you're going working to, there's a lot of avenues, and so I would love to chat with you because there's a lot of different ways that you could be pulling them in to your thing, and then it's just a matter of, hey, once you got them in, they know injuries part of it. My wife just left, by the way. Every morning when we're on this, she just leaves. Why? She's going to go play tennis again. Guess what
Mm.
happened after her first month of playing tennis? She
What?
was injured. It
Oh.
just so happens one of the doctors that she plays with is treating her. She's going back to play on a circuit, a higher, a circuit of, she's Erica's age. I know that. So I don't know where that would put you with everything, but that age group, you guys are, that are out there, they're still playing and they're still getting injured. The point
Mhm.
that I'm bringing up here is there's so many different ways, so many different places to bring people in that could make it difficult to figure out where to bring them in from. The other thing is, how much are you committed to focusing on one, because that will muddy up the waters of who you're bringing in from the first place.
Well, I'm 100% committed to
Okay.
agencies and executives, and the reason why is because when you have an individual athlete, so this like goes back to the whole registration situation. You can register an athlete, but it won't go anywhere
Yeah.
because they will set up, they will pay, they will do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But if their team says, "Hey, we have a meeting, you have to be here,"
Mm-hmm.
they can't show up, right?
Yeah, I
You know,
get that.
right. So being able to be in place to be able to make it a priority because
Yeah.
it's value for the team. Because I mean, especially when you think about pro teams, you're looking at salary caps. Even now with NIL, right? You have all these NIL sponsor people, and they don't realize they don't have no idea the volatility that they're stepping into
Mm-hmm.
because younger athletes get injured all the time, which is why so many of them don't make it past college. And then you have the ones that make it to the pros, they have a whole nother set of issues because the training's different, the
Mm-hmm.
processes are different. So if their body's already compensating, that's why you have
Mm-hmm.
the majority of retired specifically NFL players never even made it to their first contract. You
Is
know,
Jen also 47?
um I wasn't saying the number, but
No.
if you were born in 78.
I was gonna say, tell her this is my second year of being 47 because Elle told me that there was a such thing as time, but I can't see it. So I skipped being 46 and I was telling everybody I was 47. So now I get to be 47 twice. See, Elle, I can't see time.
Hey, you know what? You guys, your birthdays are, I think, a week or two apart.
Yeah, is hers on the 5th of
Yep.
November?
Yep.
Mine's on the 12th. Yep. I
Yep.
remember.
Wow. Dang. Oh, now we just said everything. So now I can't say her name. We just gave a lot of public information. Are you recording?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You might have to bleep some of that. Redact it. Put a black box
Tell
over
her
it.
she still looks good, so it's okay.
I tell her that all the time, but I think it just goes one ear out the other. So
Well, automation isn't about losing the human touch. It's about perfecting it. Automation handles timing and consistency. It doesn't replace relationships. That's what Elle tells me. I think that's what you were saying earlier before
yep,
Joe came on.
yep.
Oh, systems and humanity, smart reminders, context aware prompts that increase show up rates, personalized follow up, message triggered by attendee. Bless you if you were sneezing.
probably
Attendee
not.
actions, making them feel bespoke, custom. Behavior based messaging, nurturing leads based on how they actually engage with your content. Our question is, what's one touch point you're still doing manually that could be automated today?
Hmm.
No,
Elle, do you want to go first?
nothing.
Dang.
You know how I am. I feel like everything needs to be it takes me a little longer to respond to things sometimes because I feel like it needs to be something specific. Like when we have guests on, I try to know something more about them than just the fact that they're coming on to be a guest to talk about that specific thing. So that when
Mhm.
we send them, and we always, and so what I was thinking was that we would start sending the sending thank you boxes instead of wow boxes. So after you've done your interview, you'll get like a whole box of kind of things that's from us but related to you, like you can get like a custom hoodie and stuff like that. So instead of us doing like mass produced things, because we have like bottles and um freaking golf towels, and I'm like, that's so dry to me.
No, it's not. I got this pen from Al, and I thought it was pretty spiffy.
Well, thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I think that, but I still want, what, wouldn't it be even more spiffy if it had your name on it?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things like that. Like I want to be able to, because I feel like our 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 our
Wait,
service is so personal.
that was my reminder that I got to visit Lux Maverick,
Mhm.
and that's how I see it.
Yes. But I still want it to be like even more special. Like you got to come to Lux Maverick and that we appreciate you as an individual. Because how many times you really get an opportunity to get appreciated as an individual when you deal with a brand? Hey, Zakia. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how often do you get that? Like, I would so like okay, so since Zakia just came on, we've been talking about her doing our lotion and stuff. I'm still working on figuring out how we're gonna do that. But what if we had like a jar that had like we came up with like our own scent or something, and then it has like their name on the jar, right? So instead of it just being like a generic, we give this to everybody, it's like, hey, Erica, thank you so much for showing up. And here's a special thing just for you. Like, you got like a Lux Maverick pen with your name on it, like laser etched on there. You know what I mean? And then like the jar could have your name etched in the top or something like really cool stuff like that instead of just, hey, here's one of our t-shirts, mark it for us. You know what I mean? Like you get a custom hoodie. Like, yes, it's our logo and stuff because we got to be able to use it as marketing, but it'll have your name on it, not just our name. You know,
Mhm.
like
I
like
got
some
you.
detail like that. Or maybe if we know you like chocolate, we'll or cookies, we can, we have a person who can make us like customized cookies, right? So with our logo on top. So that's cool too. So those are types of things that I want to be able to do. I don't want it to just be some old normal thing. I want it to be amazing because you had an amazing experience here that you can't have anywhere else, and we want you to remember that.
I got you. So, Joe, what's one touch point you're still doing manually that could be automated today?
Well, glad you asked. I had to write them down. It started just rolling off in my head, and I've had my coffee, so I'm good now. Brainstorming is something that I'm doing more and more and more of. And it's funny because as much as I think of AI now, and I literally like just am crossing the 1 year threshold of when I really started using AI and how much better I got at it. But I still am, I was talking with, I'm going to bring somebody on board here this week, and I was talking with him and said something, and he says, well, why don't you go to AI and look it up? I'm like, I think that I go to AI for everything, and yet I'm not thinking everything literally. So for me, it's I'm trying to think of using it for the next thing. Trying to expand my thoughts when I get stuck. I'm trying to go back to it, and And so just yesterday, ways that I can continue to speed up processes. Like just last night, I had my whole interview for one of the things that I had put out there, but I hadn't done the timestamps on it. And I literally have been literally in the past have when I didn't get the automated timestamp, I'd go back there and manually do it. So I'd, kill a half hour or longer writing down the different points. And I thought, I'm going to ask AI if you can do this from something that's already been recorded. Well, of course it can. And I didn't realize that. And I didn't think to ask it that. Analyzing websites. The tools, I used to have to pay the tools to get audits on websites in the past. Now you don't necessarily have to only rely on tools. You can go to AI and ask it to do things. So I guess back to the question, I'm trying to just keep moving forward and putting more and more ideas, bringing it to AI before I go out and do more with it, and trying to remember to ask AI if I'm getting stuck, because it handles a lot of things, but it's not going to take over and do everything for me all the time, but it's going to be a part of the process one way or another.
Yeah. That's what we were
Okay.
talking about in the beginning. I was like, how you can take, like, you have an idea. I put it into and then I ask it to like iterate, and then because I'm a reporter, right? I like to verify my information from multiple sources, right? So you can't just count on them to do on that chat. I call him a dude, right? You can't you can't count on that dude all the time to be giving you all the stuff. Like this kid just said, trust but verify. So that's so true, because I feel like that is super huge. You like he'll tell you all kind of crazy stuff. And then now the next thing, so they're setting you up. I don't know if you know yet, but because they're gonna start trying to, because you can tell this is just a pattern that always happens. They come out with something free and they get you all addicted to it. Then they start like licking on your brain, right? Licking on your brain, and they're like, "Oh, you're so great. Oh, this is so good. Oh, did so," because it's like getting your endorphins up to like start liking and trusting it, and then they're like, "Bam! Now you got to pay for this." Right? Got to pay for this.
That's how Notebook got me.
Yep. Yep. That happens all the time. It's gonna be like, oh, here's a or here's a this. Like, so now it's gonna not be smooth. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, right? Because it's gonna start getting on your nerves, and then you're not gonna want to use it. They break everything, right? So instead of just letting you keep paying, they won't start advertising. Advertisers are gonna get on your nerves. So what I'm saying is that it's licking our brain right now, because every time you go on there and be like, that was such a great idea. Oh, you picked this choice. That was the perfect choice. I'm like, look, dude, I don't want you doing that to me. I need you to just tell me like straight up. Just be honest, be blunt, and be clear, right? Don't give me no frou-frou what you got going on. And so, I've been like working on taking all that brain licking stuff out. I don't like that anyway. Feels so genuine.
That's hilarious. And that really gave me a picture. Zakia, would you like an opportunity to answer this question? Which I'm saying which, it says, what is one touch point you're still doing manually that could be automated today?
Nothing. Everything that I want automated is automated.
Very nice. Okay, so for me, I would like the ability to reach out to speakers to be automated. Yes, I have a tool for it. It's called UChat. Have no idea how to use it, so I don't. Yeah, that's about it. Let me go back to this entire screen and share and go to the next one. Okay, the core event automation. What happened? Notebook. Go back into that one.
Yesterday. He got mad because you told on him.
Yeah. You only get 50 notebooks for free. So wrong one, wrong button.
That's just like going back in the day when we cut the cord on our TV. And
Mhm.
we're at the point now that to keep the cord cut, you're spending the same amount you did when you turned around and had cable before it.
Yep, and they do
Yeah.
more ads.
Yep.
And I was so irritated with that whole process. I just, I don't even make channels for it no more. 'Cause, before Roku was like kind of really cool, right? You could
Yep.
go on and put your stuff on, and it could you could monetize it. It could be private. It could be whatever. Now that Netflix has taken over Roku, it's ridiculous. Like the whole reason I feel like why they let that happen is so that they can keep people from having their independent channels. It's kind of the same move that they did for TikTok, where they were trying to keep people from being able to share information that they didn't want you to know for real.
Like the Hawaii fires.
Oh, it's so many things. Like they haven't talked about the floods in Alaska or all
Oh.
different there's floods, there's different floods all over because they're still trying to say I guess they're still trying to say that global warming isn't real, but there's a lot of things that's happening and they don't want to tell people because they feel like they're going to be scared. I'm like, who told you that you were so intelligent that you have the right to tell other people what they can't think and know? 'Cause I find you to be quite stupid, actually.
Well, dang.
I do.
What? Let's go to the next slide. The core event automation stack. Registration and reminders. The front door of your event. Where is that? Everybody tell me, where do you most likely use your registration? What platform or what are you using for your registration or reminders? You're using emails, you're using some other programs.
Go high level right down the board.
Okay. Zakia?
A website.
Okay. Al, are you gonna say go high level?
Well, yeah, because that would be a Larry question. So yes, go high.
The answer L is go high level for
Yeah,
you
that's what I
for
said.
sure.
Yeah, because that's literally I was saying. I was like that. This is the Larry. It's what I have learned this last year was that I have to delegate things so I don't have to think about them. And so this is a Larry question. So yes, go high level would be the answer.
Okay. So for registration, right now I'm using Book Like a Boss, and for reminders, I am using SendFox for that, and that's emails. So emails and follow up, Book Like a Boss will all do both of those things. Are you guys still using? Well, Joe and L just said go high level for everything. Is that the same for you, Zakia? Email?
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry, website.
Yeah, it all comes from my website.
Very nice. I guess I'm the only one. Didn't you tell me I was using duct tape last week? I'm still doing it.
But
The tools you use matter less than how they are connected. A broken stack with data silos equals lost revenue. I think Zakia did tell us this last week. How many tools are currently touching your event data? Be honest. And all you guys, I think, said one. I'm the only one with some duct tape.
The data part will
Dang.
be adding. I would also add to it. I have sometimes a couple of other things. Obviously, I like to use Google products as well. So Google, I don't like to. It's just the state of the industry. But Google Analytics is going to be one of the
Mhm.
tools that I'll have as a part of it. That's probably the most significant. I can't think of what the other one I was going to say was, but that's the most significant for other data. Oh, I know. Depending on the tool, there's sometimes I don't remember exactly their user experience tools where
Mhm.
I can't even think of any of the names of them right now. Lucky Orange is one of them. Mouseflow is another one I've used. Hotjar, tools like those where I can actually let's see. Microsoft has a new one. I think it's called Clarity, but I can't remember for sure. Basically, to see how the user moves through the flow of my web pages. That's a data It helps me understand. It's a data tool that's helping me understand how they're navigating the site and helps me clean up for conversion optimization. Helps me clean up things and know that these are places where they're getting stuck on my site. So that's another tool, a
Very
type of
nice.
tool.
Anybody else have anything to add?
Well, I don't know about I don't know if this fits right here, but Google Labs just came out with Pomeli.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
And
we talked about that.
okay, cool. Well, then
It's
that
pretty spiffy. You've been using it? You like it?
I don't know when we talked about it. It must have been when I was not knowing what day it was a week. So um
That we
I'm
talked about it not too long ago, and Zakia made a couple of posts about it. I think. Did you make a podcast about it also, Zakia?
No podcast.
Okay.
It
and
was used as an example of using AI in and out of context. So I used it, but I used it as an article thread of, hey, this is a great idea, but when do you use it as a creator?
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, I was like, okay, y'all know me, but I was like, this is ridiculous. I mean,
So,
I looked at it this morning actually, and I was like, well, this just doesn't. I mean, anyway, I just thought it was weird. It did. I guess the output that it gave me was weird,
oh,
and
so
it's like a little baby tool.
so what I did, I asked chat for some tips, the from Talk Virtual or the Virtual Summiteers, and I think I went with the Summiteers because I think that's the most logos I had, and I put those tips in there just to talk about the Virtual Summiteers. But that's how I was using it. That's it.
I don't know. It still looked like a little baby tool to me.
I used it after Zakia talked about it as well, and I took it to I liked it so much that it was fitting right in with what I was working with one as a consultant with one of my clients, and we used it for 2 weeks. And basically, for that client, he's a solopreneur trying to help him do as much as he can by himself, and he just fell in love with that tool after I showed him several of them. And that was the tool that we spent 2 weeks on, helping him create images so that he could start promoting himself. So, you know,
Yeah.
for
Take
the
those
right,
images, put them in a scheduler, let them
yep.
go.
I,
Schedulers are great.
I
Oh,
guess
did you know that Go High Level has a scheduler?
I didn't know that.
we got
I just started using it this week.
yeah so law is supposed to, I haven't I guess maybe I don't know. I'm just so specific about how I want our graphics to look that
Mhm.
I haven't been willing to let that go yet. Maybe I need to do something better.
I gave it the graphics I wanted it to use, and then I gave it the text I wanted it to use, and then I copy pasted in
I've
other
even
places.
created images to do the
I mean,
same
like I
thing.
said, like I was saying, I just tried it this morning, so what it looks like is a little baby tool to me right now.
Ah,
Because I'm like, I can go into because okay, right now my favorite graphic tool, let me make sure I got the right word for it, is free pick. I like free pick because it has a bunch of different options for um ways to create your graphics, and you can do a lot of different things, and every time they come out with a new like AI to like nano banana or whatever for graphics, is automatically pulled into free pick.
Yeah.
So I've been really loving it for our graphics. And we've been getting lots of compliments on our graphics and things. So I feel like that's kind of the whole point of the graphic in the first place. So I just I just haven't been willing to, and we aren't, and the thing is we just aren't trying to do like all that major like mass media 700 graphics a month type of thing. It's more like we want to do like no more than 12 a month. And I feel like we can, and because we can reuse them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're trying to, um, I feel like when you're mass marketing, you're trying to market to like a whole bunch of different types of people. So you have to keep trying to come up with a whole bunch of different types of things. But I feel like now that we've like so I've pushed us into this pigeonhole right now. So hopefully, like we talked, so when I talk to Joe later, like that's the crazy thing, trying to pull. I feel like we're trying to break into a whole nother industry. That's what it feels like to me.
Understand. Let's see. Let me get this back up.
Thanks, Akia.
Yeah, I love
Yes,
that
So,
color.
yes,
I,
yes. Netflix owns Roku now, and it's funny because the guy who created Roku is the guy who created everything OTT. He created the whole thing. So any OTT stuff that you ever get was created by is his technology. His name's Anthony. So Anthony
Anthony.
actually helped yeah, Anthony actually helped Netflix when they first came out, because if you remember, like Netflix for years did not make any money. I don't think they still making any money. I don't know how they doing what they doing or why they doing what they're doing. So when Anthony wanted to get out of Roku, the guy who owns Netflix is the person who he, I guess, decided to sell it to. So I don't know if it's done yet, but they already functioning like that.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, for high return on investment automations that save 10 plus hours per event, seamless onboarding, no show nurture, instant replay delivery, hot lead alerts. Which automation would save you the most time per event? I will say that I think Hey Summit does this. The problem I had last year is that I couldn't get people to log in. So that's that. How about you guys? Who wants to go first? Which automation tool will save you the most time per event?
That's still a Larry question.
Joe, Zakia?
high level.
Website.
Zakia?
Website.
All right.
Zakia, what website do you use?
Well, mine is on WordPress with a billion plugins on there. I know you guys hate
Ooh,
WordPress, so that's why I'm not going into detail. I'm saying website, but know that I mean WordPress with all my smart tools on there.
I asked that. I build websites and have been building a lot of them, and so I hope you got somebody handy nearby. That's where I got out of. That's the reason I no longer build on there and patch things together, was because I was a website builder for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, building a no lead left behind system. We've all been there. Great conversations during the event, followed by zero follow up. Attendance based tagging, engagement based segmentation, automated next step offers. What currently happens to someone after they attend your event? So for me, if they're on my list, the next thing they do will get what is it called? An email newsletter with a recap of what happened. And then I guess depending on what day it is, if it's on a Friday, they'll get another email. They'll get emails on Monday, and then they'll get an email on Wednesday. So the Monday is a recap and the Wednesday is a video. But other than that, everything else goes to social. How about you guys? What currently happens to someone after they attend your event?
That's the plan right there.
I know. I have to say, we've been so guilty. I have no idea. I am working on doing better. Because by the time, okay, so when we used to have uh client joy, we had everything kind of like in place, and it always used to happen. So now that we had switched to go high level, we're in the process of putting that next layer on. Because as soon it's for us, it's kind of like contagious. Like it's like when we went to DSU, then as soon as we finished with DSU, we got another call to go somewhere else, and then it just kind of like goes for us like that. So I don't ever get a chance to kind of like sit back and kind of like say, okay, we need to do blah blah blah. So that's where we are right now. So I have to say that nothing right now. It's very bad.
Oh. Zakia, what happens to your attendees after they go through an event or attend an event?
Normally, they just come into the community, which is on Heartbeat.
Very nice. And Joe, are you going to say anything other than Heartbeat?
Yeah, I was gonna say high level, and we'll make them go through that whole.
That's what I meant to say. Go high level, not Heartbeat.
High level. The purpose of high level is that there's no band-aids to take it from the beginning of this process through the whole stack.
Yes.
And I found over time the history of what I had been doing for people, whether they were coming from Confusionsoft to other platforms and mixing in other press name website makers, they eventually would experience where something would update and other things didn't update at the same pace, and their website would break, and they'd call Joe, and I was calling India, and we were working together to keep these things in place. So I use something that before they put it out there, it's already tested. I do want to add one thing here. You know, we're all talking automation here, but I want to go back to one person that I know who doesn't use an automated process. If you're familiar with Basil Lemba, any of you, anyway, Basil, he uses a literal shoebox, and he's basically the Rolodex type of guy. But the way he puts his cards, and he's a heavy networker. The way he puts his cards in a shoebox, he brings it, and let's just say he's got a card that's taller than everything else. He puts these cards in, then he puts this divider in, and then he touches everybody in front of that card, and he puts it back in with that divider back to a certain spot, and he knows the sequence. He is the most active. He's better than the automated systems, because I know when I'm getting stuff from him, he's moved it and he's done it manually. And so I pay attention to when I get touch points from him because of that. Just a thought. Kind of like getting lumpy mail is different than all that digital mail, email junk. If you get a lumpy mail in your from the postal service, you might open that one.
Lumpy mail, I like that.
That's a sales term. That's for basically they take that pin that L has and they send it to you in the mail. So it's like, oh dang, I got something in the mail. It's not paper. It's not a bill. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand. Elle, did you see the compliments they give Zakia and Joe has given you on your green wall?
Wait, I was just making one more. Oh, I didn't get the whole thing in. I missed the first line. Elle,
and the Eagles are also Kelly Green, Joe. Let's just start there. But go ahead. Sorry, Elle. We love the green.
I love it.
I was staring at that wall before Zakia said something, and I'm just like hypnotic. And first of all, I noticed Erica's background's different today. Elle is just that, and I was looking at that. I was like, that paint is so smooth. That wall is so tight. That was just so good. And then it dawned on me when Zakia said that. I'm like, oh, wait a second. My middle school was Kelly Green. My high school was Kelly Green. My college was Kelly Green. My son's football team was Kelly Green. And my nephews, who are the same age as my son, their football team is Kelly Green. My high school team, the high school right down the street is Kelly Green.
So we might as well do the chant. EAGLES. Eagles. All right.
And you see the secondary color on my mug. It's green and blue. Those are blue is my number one. Green is number two.
That's so funny.
What color do you wear mostly?
I don't know if you know Zakia, but I am from Philly.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Okay, there we go.
West Philly.
Born and raised on the playground is where she spends most of her days. All right, go ahead.
But yep, 59th and Webster. Yep.
You guys are hilarious. But I gotta go, so I'm gonna skip all the way down to the bottom. Let's see. You're building events that scale without burning you out. Woohoo! About time. What's next? Connecting your data. Session 3, data unification and single attendee view. Friday, January 16th, 2026. It says 10:30, but you guys know it's actually 10 o'clock. Your event data doesn't talk to your CRM. You're leaving money on the table. We'll cover unifying registration, engagement, and CRM data, identifying hot leads based on behavior, shortening the scale cycle with smarter follow-ups. Come ready to connect the dots and your data.
Erica,
So that's
did you
it.
take the
Yes.
presentation I did last week and put it in Notebook LM to generate this? Where did it get its
No.
story? Because where did it get this from?
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Wait. Let me go to. Wait a minute. Am I still sharing my screen? Hold on. Let me share my screen. Blue. Share. And entire screen. Share. Let me go to Notebook. This is what I'm using for this right here.
What is the source?
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Yes. So I get this from chat. I copy paste this and I put it in Notebook. That is somewhere over here. I'm using these 3 sources. Whoops. I'm trying to click on it to show it. Slides. Okay, and I asked chat for slides based on that thing I showed you in Book Like a Boss here. And I got that. I got this right here.
It's just mirroring a lot of what I said last week. So I'm trying to figure out, did I feed AI too much?
It's possible, but I tried to use a different notebook, and I need to give you the stuff you did, your presentation. Let's see, today's the 9th. It's not the 6th. When was it? It was the 2nd. Hold on. The 2nd. I should date these better. I think it was this. No, it says November 13th. Dang it.
It said January 2nd, the second row on the end.
Oh, okay.
On the end, on our second row, honey, not the first row.
Second row? Second row. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Got
it's
it.
not.
Oh, not that one. You clicked that one already.
No, I did. Dang it. But it says the 2nd.
But the one that says January 2nd all the way down to the end on the right. Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Yeah, that's the other January 2nd.
Okay. These are the sources I use for Notebook. See. The description. I put in the calendar. Dang it. I didn't mean to click that. It's this one.
We can do it offline. I just have some questions that I want to make sure we're aligned on.
Okay.
That's all.
Understood. Okay. Well, it is after 11:30 and I got to go. So I'm going to see y'all hopefully Tuesday or next Friday.
Erica is going to be on my podcast next Thursday. Come check her out. Zakia, we need to get together. Thank you for reminding me about free pick because I got something to do today, and it's going to be related to that.
Do you have my contact info?
You know what? I don't know if I do. Are you LinkedIn?
Well, Erica send it to you. Erica, so because she got to go. So Erica send it to you, and as soon as she does, we'll talk today.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Bye, you guys. Hi, Zakia. I'm so glad.
Bye.
Bye.